But these issues, high cost of living, inflation, they affect international students way more than an average Canadian. And that is simply because, well, they're on a budget. We have healthcare. Well, we don't really have healthcare. There's no healthcare, but we have healthcare, and it's in crisis. It's in crisis mode. Is it worth all the effort, all the money, all the extra things that you're putting into? Is it worth it? Are you gonna like the culture? Are you gonna like the big city, the smaller city culture, remote areas? Canada is big, right? So there will be a lot of big cities and smaller cities. Are you made for that? Hi everyone, I'm Shubham, and welcome back to my channel Lost in Canada. What's happening in Canada, right? Well, lots of things. It's a long list. High cost of living, inflation, basically people can't afford groceries, people can't afford rents, mortgages, car loans, insurances. Healthcare is in crisis. There's no houses. There's no houses. People are living in tents. International students are living in tents. So, in between all this, is it worth for an international student to choose Canada and to come here in 2024? Is it worth it? Well, let's talk about it. Despite all the issues, all the hurdles that, Canada is facing in 2024, high cost of living, inflation, no affordability basically, it's still a popular destination for international students. I mean, a lot of students are coming in Canada, and that's probably because of the education system. I mean, Canada offers a very powerful degree when once you're done. You get a degree in any Canadian institute, college, university. I'm very confident that you're gonna land a job anywhere in the world. That's how powerful the Canadian education system is. And of course, if you choose Canada, if you come to Canada, Canada has all these attractive immigration policies that basically attracts you. That okay, I'm gonna complete my studies, then I'm gonna probably look for a job, and then I'm gonna probably settle down. So it's all a good mix. It's all a powerful system that Canada has, and over top of everything, you get to study with a multicultural society. The community is really good, people are welcoming. Now, even though the system's really good, it's in place, it's powerful, the ground reality is that the issues that Canada is facing today, they're basically crumbling the whole system. And the ground reality, as I said, it's bad. It's very bad. High cost of living. Let's talk about how it's bad for everyone who's in present in Canada. High cost of living. You are basically paying extra for everything. What it used to be versus what it's right now, it's crazy. Average rent has gone up. Let's say in Toronto, one bedroom apartment used to be somewhere around 1100, 1200 a month. Now it's at 2300. Now imagine one bedroom apartment, 2300, two bedroom, three bedroom. It's out of reach. The population hubs, the major metropolitan areas in Canada, the Halifax region, metropolitan area of Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, and the Vancouver area. It's crazy. People are living in tents, they're sharing their apartments, even sharing their rooms, even sharing their beds. People are posting ridiculous ads on all these rent sharing websites and apps. Now, if the housing crisis and the high cost of living wasn't enough, we have healthcare. Well, we don't really have healthcare. There's no healthcare, but we have healthcare, and it's in crisis. It's in crisis mode. Empty buildings, long wait times, long wait times for surgeries. I mean, you go visit a hospital for anything, you just be ready for long wait times. I mean, it's so crazy. People are just sitting in emergency rooms waiting to see a doctor, a nurse. There's no one. Even I heard a few places, I'm not sure where. I think it was somewhere in Nova Scotia. Hospitals, even the emergency rooms, they close down on the weekends because they don't have staff. They don't have doctors or nurses who can basically stay at the hospital. I mean, it's that bad. Like, we don't have any healthcare. But these issues, high cost of living, inflation, they affect international students way more than an average Canadian. And that is simply because, well, they're on a budget, they don't have family here, they just basically come here, try to find a job, a part-time job, try to, sustain themselves. It's hard because there's no jobs now, there's no affordable houses. You can't expect an international student on a budget to pay like $800 or $1,000 for a room, right? It's not feasible for them. The groceries are too high, $200, $300 for a week's worth of grocery. Nah, not worth it. If you want to get a car, well, car insurances, even gas, affording gas today is so impossible. So all these issues, they have a much more deeper impact on international students. Now, shifting gears because, well, it's not just the economy, right? It's not just the affordability. We have way bigger issues at hand, and that is the immigration policies. Well, Canada has announced a cap on the number of new international student permits they're going to issue in 2024, which is expected to result in, I don't know, approximately like 360. That's the number they give, 360,000 approved study permits for this year. It's a decrease, roughly 35% from 2023. This means that the competition for admission and the visa approval, it will be higher. The competition is going to be way higher. And some provinces and territories, they have, well, they'll probably see a more significant decrease in enrollments. Another new and exciting rule or requirement, let's say requirement, is that to apply for a study permit, most of the international students, they will have to provide a PAL, or a provincial attestation letter. It's from province to province, territory to territory. The application depends on a lot of things, but it's basically you have to prove that you'll be accounted for in the province. Your territory will allocate some funds, some national cap towards you. They're gonna place a more solidified system, I think, soon. But yeah, you basically have to get a provincial attestation letter, a PAL, from the province that you're probably going to. So, fun times. Another fun requirement that got updated was the GICs. GICs are guaranteed investment certificates. They are basically like a deposit that you can make to a Canadian bank that can act as a proof of funds. The government has increased the proof of funds, the GIC requirement for international students, to $20,635. From 10,000, it's $20,635 now. That will demonstrate basically your financial resources. It will cover your living, your expenses, your tuition fees, your travel costs, basically everything. That just basically means that you have to double your requirement of funds. And this is on top of tuition fees and the other travel costs and all the other extra expenses that you probably have to face as an international student. $20,635 GIC. Fun times. I think we talked about a lot of negatives, so let's talk about a few positives as well. Well, one positive, and that is that the famous postgraduate work permits, the PGWPs. There's an update coming. Basically, starting February 15, which is I think today. Yeah, it's February 15. I should have known that. Starting today, a longer 3-year work permit will be available to those who graduate a master's degree program. Basically, before this, if you came to a master's degree program and you were going for a 1-year program, you would get a 1-year work permit. But now, starting today, You enroll in a 1 year program, you get 3 years work permit. Now, as a student, you have to face all these issues: high cost of living, inflation, no affordability. But there's a few more things that I believe are really important, and not a lot of people talk about it, but it's changing, so it's worth talking about, and that is the work study balance. So, Canada offers a 20-hour relief, let's say relief, for international students. They have that on their study permit that they can work 20 hours in a part time job or any job basically. Now, since the cost of living is so high, they have to work more to basically afford themselves or afford a living in Canada. But that drastically affects the studies, right? Now, of course, if you study more, then you probably will not work as much, and that would have again, imbalance the whole work study thing. So this is a major issue that a lot of international students are facing. You don't get equal opportunities. There's no opportunities basically, and then the competition factor is creeping in. The second major thing is the competition factor. It's basically like there's just 4 seats on the stage, and there's a huge line that people just want to go and grab those seats for. So it's crazy. It's getting to that crazier part. I hope it doesn't, but the competition factor is really creeping in. If you're a student and you really, really care about your personal success and you really want to come to Canada as an international student, well, then I would say make sure that you are researching everything. Research your degree. Is it is it a field? Is this even a field that exists in Canada? Ask yourself that. If you are an environmentalist, or if you're someone in IT or in healthcare, sure, you'll probably find jobs in Canada. But if you're from a different field, do research heavily on whether there's a career for you in Canada. Location. Location matters. Just don't go for a big city, because a big city equals big costs. And of course, a big cultural shift. Go for smaller universities or affordable towns, or basically cities or provinces that have a lower cost of living, right? Something to choose from, right? Just don't go to a big city and hope that I'm probably going to find something. Not going to happen. Make sure that you're aware of how Canada works, the banking, the day-to-day things, how to apply for SIN, what's the basic workflow of applying something on, say, Service Canada, or whatever province that you're in, how the rules work, everything. Need to research that. And that would just add into your personal success. And that way you can choose more freely and more confidently whether you want to come to Canada or not. And that, of course, in between all the issues that we're facing. Towards the end, I would just say that moving to a different country is a big step. It doesn't matter which country or community or religion that you're coming from, you're going to Canada. And that's a big step. You're not just investing money, you're investing your time, your valuable time, all your efforts. Your family probably has a lot of other resources that are in action just because you can go to Canada or come to Canada to study. So your decision making has to be really, really on point, and it has to be based on a research, not just because your friend or your colleague is moving to Canada because they find Canada better. Doesn't mean necessarily means that it's going to be better for you. Doesn't mean that it's going to suit you, right? With all the things that Canada has to offer and what's it's currently offering, there's a huge difference. There's a huge deficit. So again, research very well what you're getting into, what course you're going into, what career opportunities you might have after you graduate. And if you choose to live in Canada, probably get a work permit and apply for a permanent residency. Research everything, how easy it is, which locations to go for. Again, a big city will always equal to a big cost. So think about it. Think about it in a very wise way. So again, choose wisely, research everything, and then, of course, take the decision. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any concerns, questions, or any advice, please use the comment section and leave any comments. I will be bringing more videos on this topic, so that will be helpful. Talk to you guys later.